going to continue reading a segment of my novel here, and it's been laying around on a piece of paper and it's kind of annoying me, so I want to post it so I can have a record of what I've written. Not because I think it's important to history or anything like that. I'm under no such delusion of its importance, but it is of significance to me. And ultimately, every novelist, I think, has this opinion, but they also have the hope that they are projecting something that would be truthful. I think, to some degree, truthful and inspiring, to the characters that any novel or movie is made on the basis of. See, every filmmaker, I have the belief, as a struggling artist, if you will, or just as a person, that every movie's made like that. That whenever we see a character in a movie, that the person who made the movie actually met someone who reminded them of that character in some ways. Not like we see a lot of evil characters in movies. I'm thinking one of my favorites with Robert De Niro, where he's the manager of a casino in Vegas. And in my view, you could take everything else that guy did, and history could forget that. But if actually we remember that one movie, it would be his supreme achievement in acting. Just there were so many scenes in there that were excellently acted by De Niro. And I'm by no means someone who's usually critical of De Niro, except in that one film that I saw when I was about 10. And that's the only one where I saw something from De Niro that I thought was worthy. Actually, that as I reflect on it when I get older, it was worthy of engaging in a discussion with actors about, not about how do you choose what you will say and what you won't say, because I know there must be actors that choose to not say certain things. They're asked to give a line, and they say sometimes, I can't do that. I can't give that line. See? And that demarcates, or that demonstrates the dignity of people. See? Now, maybe there's views in the world of people that any amount of money will get you to give that line. See? And there'd be somebody out there probably who would say, I won't have an actor who won't give a line. He's not going to remain on top if he won't give that line. But I do think that there are some actors who would say in conscience, just in good conscience, I can't give that kind of line. And I try not to write characters that I would have a line like that appear from them, and that's just that's a line that I draw, as an artist. It's maybe not how I would be asked to be a filmmaker if I were making films, but it's how I feel like I would be in that situation. I'm not in that situation. I'm in that situation now because I will only give the lines that I write, and I don't have to, deal with compromises of conscience on that. And but I can tell that perhaps that does happen sometimes. But I want to continue my writing on the debutante at Beloit College. She may be graduating around this time, and so it's kind of a tribute to her work at Beloit College and her dedication. And probably I'm guessing that she's probably one of the very good students there, one of the very best. So this part I will read. Diverted, distracted, abstract, a term which she had heard when she visited the Louvre in Paris in relation to expressionism, a form of painting, was how she felt. Almost never was she compelled to reflect on what she was thinking. Her connection to the world was always immediate. So much so that if someone asked her to think about something, what she thought of womanhood was, for instance, she replied, "I do not need to think about it." She could have continued when a puzzlingly beautiful red-haired girl asked her at a frat party in 2012, the weekend after the folk and blues concert, this question. "I know what womanhood is, because I am a woman." She realized that the girl she met was very different than she. So the question at that time, 25 years ago, did not seem to her to be necessary. But now with the reunion on the horizon, she felt differently. That maybe the hours of undivided joy she experienced at the dance was most worthy of reflection. Was she apprehensive because she thought that she could not again feel the joyous bliss that she did then? That was not exactly right, for when she danced, the flood of words in her mind was stilled, and as she put it, she could then think feelingly. Without words, words were to her an obstacle to blissful, joyous experience. Yet when she met the attractive carrot-top woman, she immediately realized that there was something of a polar opposition of how she saw the world and how Madison did. In part, she had so enjoyed the dance that evening because a stranger had arrived at the dance. A stranger had arrived at the dance and had danced around the tent pole prior to the dance. She thought this was comical because he so obviously was not a student there. Yet when the concert began in earnest, she noted he had been riveted by her. More than once she caught a glance of his admiring glance. That made him seem something less foolish to her, but it also made her slightly uneasy, since her boyfriend, whom she loved, was also there at the dance. She cast a wistful glance and longing stare deep into the snow-covered field outside her bedroom window at her parents' home. She loved watching deer bounding across the field on clear sunny afternoons. This rarely involved words. She intuited the splendid beauty of this. No questions, no words.